I'd like to spend the next couple minutes showing you how to animate objects in PowerPoint, specifically the 3D models that you're incorporating. So to begin with, let me start by explaining what I have in my picture. To start with, I added a picture in the background, which simply was inserted with the pictures online. I also added some models. As you can see, each one of these is an independent model that I can turn and spin and move the way I would like to. Some of the models already come with an animation, as you can see with the shark that's swimming in the background. Now, to determine whether or not the model that you have is going to be animated or not, click on Insert in your 3D models. And when you look at them, you will see that some of the models have a little running man in the bottom corner of their little box. So that's this thing right here. Some of them do not have a running man, which means they're not animated. So if you want animations, you have to add them yourself. So to start with, once I've added the models and I want to tell a story with them, I need to begin by moving them around to where I want them and resize them. So I think that my submarine is a little too big for what I want. And I can move it the direction that I want, but I think I'm going to have it come off into the distance. So I'm going to set it up right there. Now my shark, I'm going to have it swim by. So I'm going to go tuck it into the coral and have it swim into the screen. I think that would be kind of neat. Everything else is really where I want it, so I'm going to leave it as it is. So to start with my animations, up in the top ribbon, I'm going to click on Animations. And I'm going to start with my little turtle. So I'm going to click on my turtle and I want to have it animate where it just kind of sinks to the bottom because it sees a shark coming. So when you click on your Animate with your object, you have a selection to choose from. Odds are these are not going to be ones that you necessarily want every time. So you have choices. So when you click the little down arrow, I can have it arrive, which is the green. I can have it leave, which is the red. I can have it do an action. I also have one more choice that is not on here, and that is the motion paths down at the bottom. Again, these are just a limited selection. If you want more, click on the more, and I do want more. I want my little guy to sink down into the coral. So I'm going to look for a motion path from these selections that kind of do what I want it to do. So I want it to arc down, so I'm going to click on arc down and click OK. Now, as you can see, when you move, they didn't quite do what I wanted. So I have some options right here at the top of the ribbon, and I can look at these as my positions. Now I have my edit points and reverse the path direction. I actually want to edit my points. There we go. That's more in line with what I want. Now right now it starts on a click, which means I have to hit the mouse to make it move. That's not necessarily something I want to do when I'm animating. I may want it to start with the previous thing. So that means right here I have my running man, which means that is the animation that the shark already has, and it just kind of goes on for the duration of whatever you have. That's what that little arrow means right there. And at the same time, when I click to start, this guy will start. I can have it start with the previous, or I can even have it start after. Now given that the previous animation goes on forever, that's not my choice. I do want it to start with previous. However, I can delay it. I can delay it by moving it here. And you'll notice in the delay box it also changed up here. So I can actually enter the numbers in here or just slide it to where I want it. So I want the fish to start swimming, or sorry, shark, not a fish, to start swimming before it actually begins to sink down into the weeds, well, coral. I'm having issues with using the correct terminology today, but we'll get past that. Okay, so I have my little turtle and I'm happy with where it's going. So I'm going to leave the turtle alone. I am now going to look at the shark. I want the shark to swim across the screen. So I wanted to do it at the same time as it's swimming. So if I right now click on the little down arrow and have it move across, and I select one of these, what it will do is it will cancel out the one that's already there. I don't want it to cancel out. So when you're layering one animation onto the other, you must click Add an Animation. So I'm going to add to it to make it move. Again, it will be a motion path, and I would like to have it move across the screen. Oh, left would be a better one. So I click left, and again, I'm going to want its path. Okay, this one won't let me edit its path, so I can just click on the end button over here because I want it to move across the screen. Let's see how far out the screen it will go. Again, maybe have it delay just a second. And right now it's still on a click. I don't want it on a click. I want it to be with the previous. But I am going to slide it just a little bit. Okay, so if you would like, if you click on the down arrow, you have these options as well. You can actually make these changes that I was just making up here. I can make them down there. I am going to go ahead and move it up just because it allows me to have my shark animations together where I can see that they are one after the other. Now when I click on my shark, the two animations that went with the shark are right here, so it doesn't matter that it's technically could be in a long list, all of them will highlight. And same with my turtle, that's my animation for my turtle. So let's look at the submarine. I want my submarine to arrive onto the scene, and that means that it kind of needs to grow from the distance. So I'm going to add my animation. It's my first animation, so I don't actually have to click add animation. So I want it to arrive. So these are my choices for it to arrive. I think zoom is what I'm going to want because I want it to grow. Now that's really fast, so I want my duration. As you can see right here, I can change the duration. I want to increase the time. That means the total animation will now be spread over 4 seconds at 0.75. Again, I want it to be with previous. So maybe it start a little bit after that. And I'm going to have it highlighted right here. And by having the bottom one highlighted, it means only the bottom one will play. So I'm going to click play. That's a little better. It looks like it's coming in from the distance. Now, when it comes in, I don't want it just to grow. I want it to make it seem like it's actually being driven. So just like before, I'm going to add an animation. And again, it'll be a motion path. And this time, a little bit diagonal down and to the right. Again, I have it, and I'm going to do it with a previous, so they kind of go together. And just kind of shift it down a little bit. I'm going to make it go a little bit longer, just like the one but the duration before. And I'm going to click on this one, so just my last two animations will play. Now he's arrived on the scene. So let's watch what they all look like together. So up at the top, I'm going to click play. Okay, now that was one fast swimming shark. I think I'm going to have that shark swim a little bit slower. So again, it's duration. Goodness. It's not... Okay, you know what? I'm just going to do it this way because it's not cooperating. Okay, so we're going to have it spread over 6 seconds. And again from the top. There we go, there's our story. So in full screen, I'm going to click on it. And this is what my presentation would look like. So through this process, you can take inanimate objects such as 3D models and bring them to life.